Yo, what's going on, guys? So let's break it down. Friday, week's over. Played out pretty much exactly like we expected, right? Earlier this week, I kind of said this kind of looks like accumulation here on the 4 hour. I thought we would get a little move down to what? Well, we came down. We filled in this 4 hour FEG. We thought we could hit 50%. We didn't quite hit 50% here. We got close. Really no need to draw it up. But you see, we got close to 50%, but ES ended up tapping its weekly order block right here at the same time that NQ hit this 4 hour, and look at that set up. A little 4 hour accumulation. The first 2 days where everyone got chopped up and price action was just booty. And then what happens? We get a little manipulation leg. Shorts think, oh, we're finally breaking down out of this, and then look what happens. Right back up to here. With starting with PCE taking all the equal highs, and then today a pretty nice trend day all the way back up. So I mean that was pretty much the week. So now this week, look what happens. We close with a weekly order block now sitting up here. So we have a weekly order block sitting here, kind of like what ES had, right? ES had. We'll get rid of this junk. ES had a weekly order block right here, right? This is when NQ hit that 4 hour FEG and bounced this week. You see ES tapped into this weekly order block, just barely tapped the wick, and that's all that it needed to propel this thing back up. So I mean that was pretty much the week. Made it really. I mean obviously Monday, Tuesday into Wednesday were very very difficult, right? But and then Thursday delivered nicely. Remember PCE delivered us all the way up here, and then we delivered all the way back down. Remember this 4 hour order block right here off the lows. So these are your big order blocks, right? The ones off the lows, and then see we bounced off there. ES also bounced off of it, and then the big thing was on those PCE lows on Wednesday. If you remember what happened, if we can find it here, would have been Wednesday 8:30 lows. So yeah, right here. So right here would have been those lows right here, and then YM swept them here, right? So YM swept the PCE lows, NQ didn't, and either did ES. So they just hit the 4 hour OB, and that set up our SMT to eventually set us up for this rocket into the ending of this week. So accumulation, manipulation, distribution right back up. It's all we were setting up at the beginning of the week. Strong start to the monthly candle on NQ. The big thing is we already took out February highs now. So looking from a monthly standpoint, we might get some kind of pullback here. Not calling a top, not calling anything. Just sometime in March we might get some kind of pullback. In just to rebalance this range because of the big trend day we just had. We now have a 4 hour FVG sitting below us here, and that's also combined with a lot of hourlies. Look, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we balance this one end of day. But I still think coming back down here, if we look at the range of the hourly here. Kind of lines up with this. We have an hourly breaker here. Kind of, we could hit 50% down here, 18,201. Fill in the 4 hour FEG. Fill in some of these hourlies, and then maybe get something along the lines of like this. So maybe a dip going into next week, but we do not have to, right? This is just something I like to look at both sides. We could easily just still rip from this hourly. Come Monday morning, and then we're just back off to the races. So it'll be interesting because it is the start of the month. Usually, start of the month, we start some kind of accumulation, and then the weeks 2 and 3 of the month, we start some kind of like manipulation into a distribution mode, and you kind of get like a AMD, like a accumulation, manipulation, distribution throughout the entire monthly candle there. So this is what I'm kind of expecting. Doesn't mean we'll get it. That's just best case. I'd be much happier to take longs if we get some kind of pullback here. Just scary longing up here because they can fit 50%. They can 50% this at any time. So that was really it for this week. Last night we had Asia, right? We had Asia session. kind of give us a nice little pump up here. So Asia starts at 2000, right? So I just want to mark this out because there's something I want to show you guys. So here's Asia lows, and then we'll go up to Asia highs, which were right here. So, and then you go to midnight. Here's your Asia session last night, right? So here's Asia. What do you notice? We take Asia highs. So usually whichever way we take first, and then we go the opposite way. But look how Asia lows get swept by London. This is exactly how it's supposed to play out. Besides obviously taking the highs first, but you see we get accumulation here, kind of after Asia accumulation. London manipulates, and then New York distributes all the opposite way of London. So you see how that kind of played out today, and then London lows sat right here, and you see we never came back for those. So that was kind of something I noticed today. Another thing to kind of gauge, whenever we're at all-time highs like this, it's kind of hard to gauge, where's this thing going to go. We need to pull out our standard deviation. So a good tool I like to use is drawing up your Asia range. Usually, 2.5 standard deviations is a very good target. Usually every day we hit 2.5 standard deviations of the Asia range. No matter if it's up or down, we usually at least cover whatever this is, whatever the range is. So if this is 50 points, we should cover at least 100, 150 points in Asia to get in New York to give us that 2.5 standard deviations. So last night, you see we hit 2.5 this morning, and then we kept on going up. So what do we look for after 2.5? We look for 4 is like the next big target for Asia, and you see that's kind of where we stalled out today. So we went up to that 4th standard deviation, kind of stalled out. So and then we'll have to see what kind of look at all these 50-minute candles today. Like not a red candle for miles. So the only way you really could have got in today was some kind of 50% retracement. We had quite a few of them. Like there was one here, there was not one here, but we did come back and we hit this. We hit the 5-minute. There was a bunch of smaller entries on the 1 minute you could have got in, all these little pullbacks here. You see for example, this would have been a good one. It's all hindsight now, right? But I mean, this is how these are the kind of setups you need to be looking for when it comes to trend days. Look for 50% on the 1 or the 5 minute. Find you an FVG or something, and then if you think we're still bullish, then you hop in here, and then you just ride. That's how you can ride the trend. You can also find some kind of after the dip, you can find some kind of 1 minute bullish OB right here. We close above, then you're in the trend. That's just how you can play trend days. Other than that, there's not much to talk about today. It's just a trend day, right? So other than that, pretty great week. A nice 4-hour setup, kind of leading us into here. We'll see if distribution's done, and then we kind of manipulate and accumulate down. Maybe we hit the same thing next week, as in let's go down to a 15-minute time frame. So maybe we get some kind of accumulation Monday, Tuesday. Manipulation hits 50%, kind of like this week, and then we, distribute back up going into Thursday, Friday is a possibility. So that's just kind of what I'm thinking. Like I said, we could take back off Monday and continue this trend, and that's about it. That's all I really have. Remember the weekly OB. The weekly OB sits down here at 1838, so a pullback to here is also entirely possible as well. These things don't like to go on balance, so it's possible, we get a move down to here as well, 1838, and then possibly back higher and see how price holds there. So it's also a possibility. So that's what I'm looking for on NQ. Also, another thing to note, this morning expected a trend day. Why? Because when we took all-time highs here and dipped, and we came back and we expected, somewhere down here to hold. When we come back up here, when we come back to all-time highs, it doesn't make sense to take all-time highs and then dump all the way back. If we came down here, we did not come all the way down here to to just go back up here and take this and then come back down. It just doesn't make sense logically or algorithmically to do that. It makes sense to because if there's a higher objective, we would have just done it here. But instead, we had to balance the market. We hit 50%, and now it makes sense to, okay, wherever the higher target is, now we can go up for it. The market got balanced down here, and now, we come back up here, we take all-time highs again. So now the market can then breathe and then go up higher to its higher targets. So it's just kind of way I was looking at it. So ES, obviously the weekly OB held perfectly this week. Looks like we put in, okay, so yeah, we had a daily OB yesterday. So look at this. I didn't even notice this today. Okay, another example of order blocks. Look at this. Daily order block that we put in yesterday for ES. Look at that. We come down, we dig into it today, and gone. Just exact, just precise, precision, algorithmic delivery there, straight from that daily order block. So other than that, nothing else here. So we did put in a 4-hour OB down here at 51.13. As well as this is going to turn into a 4-hour OB or FEG just like NQ has. So look for something like this going into Sunday night for ES, and then maybe like this would also cover like a 50% down here too as well. So pretty textbook there. Didn't even see that OB, so that's pretty amazing to see that live time. That's like my actual reaction to it right there. So with that, hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. I will have the 50% video hopefully published tomorrow and edited, and then I will have that out to you guys. So I hope you guys have a safe weekend, and we'll catch you guys on Monday.